Whoa, it's Wulzy. I'm on my alt account Dance Woman again. Welcome back to the co-op building series Level Swap. Today I've got Alkali with me. Say hi, Alkali.
Hey, what's up?
This is Level Swap. Alkali and I are both going to start brand new levels, but every 20 minutes we must pass our levels over to each other until we've had 3 turns building on each level. The end goal is to make a functional part of a level. In our building time, we're both going to split up and record individually to keep the mojo, so make sure that you watch the other side if you want to see their perspective too. And yeah, is there anything you have to say before we start?
No.
Not at all.
Let's go.
You're a low-key man, Alkali. You're a low-key man.
Yeah.
I've got Shimmy Shimmy Alkali. I'm ready. I've got the song all done. So yeah, I'm going to start the timer. We mute, we split off, and then we meet again after 20 minutes. Good luck, Alkali.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Okay, so with this song, we have got trippy kind of vibes. It's the same author, Laps. Go check them out on Newground. I'm going to hit him with the teleporter intro because I think we can make a pretty nice transition with this sound opening. So nice. This might be a little bit risky, but it's a risk that I'm willing to take. I'm gonna do a floating platform intro. We've got a moving platform that moves us down to a yellow pad, and then this will launch us onto some blocks up here. Some clear blocks, because I'm gonna help Alkali out. I'm gonna format the structures for him. I just need to remember to toggle off that platform once its time is done. I hope this gameplay does not disappoint Alkali, because he is a man known for his gameplay. My sync at the moment is a little bit strange. I'm relying on these flat blocks to kind of carry these notes for me, so I don't have to use dash orbs. Just nice alternative that differs from what you might expect. I'm gonna hit him with a curveball and put in a ship section right off the bat right here. I know that Alkali is pretty good with weird and random gameplay and vibes and stuff, so I've given him a couple of interesting things to work with, like those tight jumps, some slopes like this, and the purple orbs inside the blocks. So overall, you get quite a bumpy experience with this, and I like how it's flown at the moment. It's quite unique. I've given him a lot of room, especially in that ship part. He can do whatever he wants there. I know he's good with slopes and stuff. I'm gonna give him some interesting structuring to work with the half slabs and the mini spikes up the side. We're giving him some spice with this structuring, man. I like this. I've now scattered in some extra mini slabs that just sit above and under some blocks. Then I'll put a transition trigger at the beginning, and we'll see what this looks like overall. I'm pretty excited to give him this. I don't know how he's gonna feel about it, because it is very strange. I just want to push him a little bit, you know, because he's quite experienced in the editor. He is quite an old Donny, an OG. Let's choose the strangest saws that I can find. Just piecing the last ones in now. Then I need to verify this and give it to Alkali. Hello, Mr. Alkali. I hope I am not interrupting any commentary, but that is your time up right now. Wait, you did quite a lot, actually. Hey.
Yeah, I did it about 15 seconds, I think. Oh, I like it. It's gonna be interesting trying to decorate the slopes.
We have screwed each other here, I think.
Yeah, definitely, I feel like.
You gave me the dizziest song of all time. I'm gonna get all of the tedious stuff out of the way. To start off, I'm using select filter to select only the pulsing objects, and I'm putting them on the new color channels 8 and 9, which are gonna copy the player colors instead of using these player color buttons, because these automatically go to blending. Then I'm setting up a pulse trigger so that color channel 8 and 9 flip to their opposite hue of the player color that they are assigned to. So as you can see right now, the colors are getting flipped. I like that. I'm gonna do the same with the background real quick. I'm gonna change it to this one. I think this one's the most appropriate for this ridiculously upbeat song. We just need to fix the hue and the brightness to make the background actually appealing. There we go. I'm putting a blending screen over the entire thing to uplift some of the colors. You can kind of see it there if you look at the ground and then look at the middle bit. Since the level starts straight away, I need to make sure that 2 is moved backwards into place so that as soon as the level starts, everything is set already. There's no gaps on the left-hand side. So most of my thoughts at the moment are the color of these pulsing objects, how they're so far in the sky, whereas the green is mostly in the bottom. So I'm going to use this color channel 9 in place of the decoration that Alkali has placed on editor layer 1, these objects, except I'm going to set them to quite a low brightness compared to the real color channel, just because they don't really fit in otherwise. So the next thing I'm going to do is create a low opacity black that can sit on the layer behind these objects, and this will be an attempt to tie in these objects by just occupying the space around them. So now there's a couple of light shafts around these areas. It still doesn't fit in very well, which is why I'm tempted to go back in. 1 goes to invisible, but our new group 3 will be going to around about 0.3 opacity Maybe. It's certainly something. At least I've tried. There's a bit more color in the level now. The pulses at least are effective. I think the next thing I'm going to do with the last 7 minutes I have is make a gradient at the bottom. I want the level to feel quite rough, which is why I've scale hacked this object to 4 times. Going to set that to the same opacity of black as the light shafts. The light shafts and these glow objects are both going to be set to don't fade, don't enter. Going to add some extra little pieces of glow at the bottom that move alongside the glow gradient. I can also probably make a floaty effect by selecting every second object on the top, adding that to a specific group, then going back and selecting the ones that I didn't use, then adding that to another group, making 4 move up by 3 first, very slowly, to come down 6, move back up 6, and these 2 triggers will be repeated. Then 5 will be the opposite. As long as nothing's bugged right now, I am going to take that as a W because I do like the way these moving objects are making me feel. On a new color, I'm going to copy the object color, and that's going to be used for the ground spikes at the bottom. Just quickly before our time is up, this is what I've transformed the part into so far. Just mess with some colors. Alkali's version is going to look a lot different than mine because I'm using green and blue. He's using gray and pink, which is going to massively skew the color scheme. That is time, I'm afraid.
Okay, at least I have a few ideas as to what I'm going to do.
Same. I'm going in with confidence right now. This object line is weird though. I'm guessing you meant to change it.
Yeah.
First things first, I need to fix this object line. The gray isn't doing it for me, really. But I'm kind of going to bounce it off the background pulses that he's got going on. I don't know how they work, but I think I'm just going to copy them, move them up, change them to object, and literally just put white on. He said there's a lot that needs to be done, so I don't want to tamper with what he's made too much in case he has plans for what he wants to do next. I think my main priority is going to be this transition in. So this white line is on T3. It's on a brand new color 4, which is just going to be white because, you know, at the beginning it's black and white. It makes sense. And I'm actually going to turn on effect lines for once because I need to align this move trigger with the line like that. There's going to be a series of move triggers. The first one's going to move at 1 on the X. The second one, 3 frames later, is going to move at 2. 3 frames later, it's going to move 3, then 4, then 5, and 6. And a 7. Then with some alpha triggers, I've made it fade on and fade away at that point. Boom. Just a clean transition like that. I'm moving Alkali's color triggers to be in line with the alpha trigger right now because I feel like that's going to be important. Then I'm going to rely on the good old glow staircase to give me a massive gradient once all of these are lined up on top of each other. Using group 7 for the alpha trigger right now, I'm going to put that on 0.2 opacity. Okay, I've messed with it a bit. I've given it a copy color of the background with blending. I want to add some weird patchy detail to his source by stacking some glow gradients like this, flipping them, rotating them. Think this is going to be cool if I can scale it up. I'm also going to add it to the orbs as well. I'm hoping these don't look too hideous in game. No, they're not the worst. They just need some underlay decoration, I think. All of the colors are mismatched. I'm relying on Alkali to fix that for me next time because, you know, I'm kind of colorblind. I can probably just select filter all of this glow and then copy it, move it down a B3, down and left, something like that, and put black. Which one's is black? Oh no. By the way, I'm just adding some stars in the middle of these objects so they're not too crazy, they're not too ugly when they meet up in the middle. These are literally just set to black and the layer above anything in the equation, T1. This is the result of 1 hour of work. You can see it's not very much because we're struggling to work with each other. This is the fun of working with a design creator. You have no idea what they're gonna do, they have no idea what you're gonna do. It's all a big mess, but it's all in good fun. I haven't managed to get much accomplished in any of these time slots yet because I'm just too worried about the end result. That's our time, I'm afraid. I've done nothing.
I've done literally nothing. I don't like what I've done at all.
Same. Yes, this level's kind of saved. Let's go. What do you mean you don't like what you've done?
I don't know.
It's
I
good.
thought it looked kind of weird.
It's pretty much done already. The other one is in the mud, but this one is like passable, I'd say.
Let's see what you've done. Yeah, I like what you've done.
Really? What I'm noticing so far with this is that all of the pulses are all like boom, boom, boom. There's no fading assets, so I think I'm going to add some beams on a new editor layer in between some of the blocks, like right here. That can go on black blending, just threading the needle between some of the decoration. Select filter all of this, then we can add it to a new group 10. And in between these pulse triggers, I'm just going to add a fade on, fade off pulse trigger. 10 can just copy the color of maybe the background? I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. Since it's invisible most of the time, it doesn't really congest much of the decoration, although there is a lot overlaid in the blocks right now. There's a red herring at the beginning, which is that spike. I'm just going to fix it by continuing the ground spikes like that. My next plan is to add a little bit of depth onto these objects that I added in the previous round. It's going on a new group 11, which is going to be half opacity. I can't believe this doesn't exist yet, and I'm hoping that this is going to give them a more blocky look and work them in with the black objects that we've got set out, especially with these objects that my mouse is over right now because they have a very prominent outline. Next thing to fix is the blending screen. This is going to get given a new ID. Then we shall add a new pulse trigger. The blending screen is using color 2. Okay, grand. We'll just add 2 into there. Color ID 2. Then we can change the hue very slightly and increase the brightness a lot. And then alongside that, I'm going to select all of these slab objects and give them a new group 2. I'm going to copy the fading pulses that I added at the beginning of this segment of the video, move them up to the sky so I can tell a difference. Going to add the new group 13 in there. Tick the detail only button so only the insides of these slabs are getting affected by this pulse, and it's going to copy a color of the background. So as you can see, instead of fading straight to black, it's got a new subtle color that's briefly showing up inside of it. I think that's a very subtle detail that works quite well. It saves me having to put extra detail inside that block. Then I'm going to scale up the largest glow piece, give it the same group, black blending, so it's invisible most of the time, and that can kind of emphasize the saws and stuff. Since the colors are so weird, I'm just trying to mesh a lot of them together. Also, I just want to appreciate Alkali for coming up with this block switching design. That's so cool. I don't want to overglow this because, you know, that's kind of an issue at the moment. Design creators are using glow way too much and people get mad about it. I just want to tastefully add it. I don't want to blow out the whole level because that's just too crazy. I want to briefly test a pulse using a color trigger because that's the only way you can actually change opacity in a color change. I want to see what it would look like if all the low opacity black got changed to full opacity whenever the drums kick in. I'm going to edit the last few pulse triggers for the blending screen so I can make it go really bright at the end. Then I'm going to tone down the full opacity black pulse because it's too crazy. I want to change that to half. I think it was too outlandish. You know, when the blocks overlaid that black space, like right here. Then to bounce back from that really bright pulse, I'm going to select everything, add it to a new group 14, put an alpha trigger under the level that fades off for 0.2 seconds like that. Then we just need a black background transition right now on the same fade time that just makes everything go black, so everything disappears. That works. Very nice. Then I'm pulsing on some text that says video level at the very end. That's my contribution for the second round. I can't believe that. The level feels done. I've even added the outro because I didn't know what else to do right here. But that is time up right now. I think one level is definitely better than the other.
yeah, I'd say that.
The one that you started is so much better. I like the spike pillars that you've put underneath the ship. That's good.
I try to fill that in.
The episode with Para has been influencing me to scale hack and I don't like it. So I'm adding a few of these back-to-back ground spikes to kind of connect the objects to the ground. I'm wasting time because I should have done this off the rip and I haven't. Next up, I need to deal with these triangle things that I set up for Alkali to mess with, which he never did, sad face. We'll just space it randomly from here, I think. Just putting new groups on them every time. I'm going to put them on loops like these, where they fade off for 0.2 and fade back on for 0.5. This is where the shimmy shimmy comes from in Shimmy Shimmy Alkali. It's really messy, but that honestly works with the atmosphere that we've got going on. The song sounds kind of rusty. We've got a bunch of random details that don't work with each other. It's like a junkyard. Say hello to the biggest piece of glow you've ever seen. I've scaled it up and lined it up with the very edge of this ship portal. Then I plan to copy it again, flip it. I don't even know if this is going to load in game, but basically this whole thing gets tinted that color. I don't even know what it is. I don't know where this glow piece's hitbox is. Yeah, they just don't exist. I'm going to leave them in the editor just to confuse Alkali when he opens it, because that looks so funny. I have just realized that these pieces are on group 7 and they do not show up the whole time because group 7 is the moving group as well. So there's a new group that's going to 30% opacity because apparently 7 is weird weird like that. What if I did the exact same stupid exit that I did earlier? The number of levels that I've done this transition out in is ridiculous. But these levels are so rough that it just works to have everything fade out at once, even if there's stuff overlaid on top of each other, which looks ugly in the meantime when you're fading. Currently making a custom rotation for this gear object on 60, so I can just copy it and scale it down a bunch of times to get an opacity overlap. This is getting used for any orbs, portals, etc. That's time.
I've added like one thing to it.
Ooh. What do you mean you added one thing? Have you seen
That's so huge.
You've seen the glow, I see. What do I do with this? It's like, it's done. Okay, so I tried to stump Alkali, and he stumped me. Okay, layer 20 by ourselves. We're just going to select every second cloud as we did before, but the movements are instead going to be snappy rather than smooth to kind of contrast with the saws. 21 can bop 2 and -2 to move back -2 and 2. Then 22 can bop -2 and 2 to then move back 2 and -2. And I'm feeling saucy. I'm going to select filter all of the arrows right now and add them to 21. Then I'm selecting all of these blocks and the light shafts behind them if I can find the layering. And these are going on 22. That's all I can think of doing, just adding a bit of abrupt movement here and there. There's nothing else that you can possibly add to this. Alkali, you're killing me, man. I guess another small touch I could add would be to select filter all of the mini blocks underneath the top slabs. Then I can kind of bounce back from these move triggers and change the X to 0, change the Y to -5 so they bop quite far down to then extend back up in 2 seconds so it doesn't quite make it all the way back up to the top. Up 5. Then on every beat, I'm going to swap the object transition right here, which just affects how the objects move on and off of the screen. Then on top of that, I'm disabling and enabling the trail on every beat too. I'm also going to add a rotate trigger that rotates these corner glow pieces 90 degrees every time, like bam, bam, bam. Group 24, 0 seconds, 90 degrees. The center doesn't matter because it's just going to use itself as the center. When this sound plays, I'm just going to copy the rotate trigger over and over again like that. Here we go. It works. You know, it's noticeable. I like that. It's subtle, but it's noticeable. I just noticed that Alkali included some fake spikes on top of these blocks, but then he didn't place them anywhere else. I kind of want to extend that.
So bad.
Yeah, they're not the greatest levels, but
yeah,
it's to be expected. Shimmy, shimmy, Alkali. Okay, this is the full level. This is the full one. Oh my god.
Alright,
oh my god, you completely transformed this. What?
In a good way or bad way?
What? And there's a nice end screen. Okay, good. What?
Yeah.
That caught me off guard. Hiding all of its flaws. You can't even see the orb at the top. It's completely... Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this level swap episode. This was a shambles in the end, but at least there's one good level. At least there's one. Be sure to check out Alkali's video when it drops a few hours after this premiere. Thank you for coming to the premiere. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. And yeah, have a good day.